Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Amy and today we are here with a Goodwill thrift haul, so stay tuned. Hi, how's it going? It's always something. So today is Wednesday in my world, which is a filming day, so I'm excited to film some videos to share with you guys. I was uploading a video earlier today and realized that a video that I had uploaded like a week and a half ago, I never published. I uploaded it, but it was still private. So I've got that scheduled to post tomorrow on Thursday. So I'm just a hot mess. So if you are also a hot mess, or I guess if you like to watch a hot mess, then maybe you're in the right place. So as for a lot of you know, I went through, I'm sorry, I've got a cat under here who really wants to eat the packaging on the medication that I got in the mail today. And she's driving me nuts, and she's kind of was making the table here. I'm trying to get this a little bit sturdier. So she's trying to eat. What is it with plastic and cats that they love the taste of it so much? I don't understand. But anyway, I have been buying things for my to sell in my Etsy shop, or to make things to sell in my Etsy shop. And I did stop that spending. So now any spending that you see me do is either with the 10% that I've earned on things I've sold in my shop, because 10% of it I'm reinvesting back into the business, and like 75% of it's going to debt. 10% of it is going to, well, the first 10% is going to the charity, the goat charity that I do, and then 5% goes into listing fees. So that's kind of how I'm dealing with the money that I make selling things. But I still get an allowance of $25 a week for the time being. We'll see, that may have to stop at some point too. But for the time being, I still get that to spend on whatever I want. And apparently I only ever want to buy stuff from thrift stores and things. Like, don't I ever want, I would like to get a perm. Why can't I save my money for a perm? And there's some books at Barnes & Noble I want to get. Did I save my money for that? No, I bought some stuff from Goodwill, from some antique places. And yeah, so this is the Goodwill haul that we went, before we went to this, we went to the Creative Reuse store and got our $15 bag full of goodies. And I told you guys this in the last video, which hopefully I published. And hopefully it's the video that aired right before this video, because at this point, who knows? They may get all aired out of order. But we did a Creative Reuse for where you can pay $15 and fill your bag with whatever you want. Well, after that, we had some time to kill, and Jason's like, well, let's just run into Goodwill and see if they've got anything. And lo and behold, someone had apparently donated practically all of their craft supply. So I didn't buy it all the stuff I found, but I did buy several things. And as you know, Goodwill is not cheap anymore. So I don't know. Then you have like instant regret the second they swipe your card, and it's like, that brief period of dopamine is gone, just like that. But let's see what I got. I do like what I got. So let's see. So this person had a lot of stamps. Simon Says Stamp is probably my favorite stamp brand. I think the quality of their stamps is bar none better than any other stamps I've tried from any other companies. And there's a lot of good companies out there, but there's just something about Simon Says Stamp that I just love. I used to do they had a monthly subscription kit that I used to do, and I just love it. So I'm not necessarily in love with this particular kit, but if I ever started making cards again, this would be a really good one. And it could be decent for some scrapbooking purposes that I might have. And you can see it was $2.86. Of course, all this stuff was probably, oh wow, this had been there since September 11th. So this had been there almost 2 weeks. I'm surprised. That seems weird, right? Maybe it was tagged that long ago, but didn't actually make it out onto the shelf that quickly. Well, anyway, so I got this. And then I was a Stampin' Up, well, they call them Stampin' Up demonstrators, but I never sold to other people. It's a multi-level marketing thing, just like lots of other things. I just became one of those people, so I got a discount on everything I bought. And this is a Stampin' Up punch, and I like their punches the best out of all the punches I've tried, because for one, you can close them for storage purposes, and they just seem to cut better. I have several other brands of punches that just don't cut as well. Now, was I smart enough to bring some paper that I could use? Because I think this is a tab, right? So I kind of wanted, let's see what this paper is. Oh no, I can't use that. I've got, I'm so unprepared. I apologize. All right. If you saw one of my recent videos, I got I think it was my Temu video, I got a letter punch, and I was using, this was the back of some stickers. So let's use this. But my thought is that you're supposed to fold it together in the center. So, and I like most punches, you can, I hold it this way. I don't hold it this way. I hold it this way so I can make sure my paper's in there exactly how I want it to be. And that way I can also line it up so there's the least amount of edge and waste. So that cut really good, really cleanly. So then you would take this and fold it in half, and there's a little tab that you can then glue onto the side of a side of something to make a tab. Now there's probably other applications for this too, but to me that's what this is for. So I was happy to see that. They did have several others. This was $7.56, which is not a bad price, but you just want it to be cheaper when it's someplace like a Goodwill. But they had some other punches. They had one that was a flag, which was really just, you know, cut out at the bottom. And I'm like, I don't want to spend the money for that when I can just cut it with scissors. And then they had another punch that unfortunately I already had of a flower. So this was the only one that I got, but that's good. I didn't need to buy a bunch of those. But yeah, I'm happy about this. Anytime I can find a tab kind of punch, I'm game. All right. And then all I can say is they probably, I'm sure they still sell these, but do they? I'm sure they do, but do they? They must, and there's no date on here. It just feels very vintage to me. It feels like an aged kind of thing, and I don't know how many people actually still use things like this now that there's apps for recipes, and there's just apps for everything that maybe you might have used this for. But these are great for going in journals because you can write on the back of them. They've got the tabs, so you could use that as a divider in the journal. So yeah, I picked that up for $2.86. Probably way overpriced, but I don't care. I'm happy to get it. And then I found these weird flashcards. So I got both of them. Are they exactly the same thing? They kind of look like they are. They have the same item number. They were both $2.86. And wait a second. Were those stamps? Oh, no. Those stamps were from here in Florissant from 9/11. These were from the Goodwill in Rolla, also put out on the floor on 9/11. I don't know why that matters, but this is from Trend Company, and this Trend is the same Trend that makes the stinky stickers or the scratch and sniff stickers that we all used to love. And that company, you guys, if you didn't catch, it's been a while now since I talked about it, but that company is going out of business soon. And so you can still buy the scratch and sniff stickers from their website. You can also download a digital which has all of the scratch and sniff stickers on it as well to use in your crafting if you like that kind of thing. But I saw on Facebook or Instagram that they are going to be doing some kind of a marketplace for things they find in the warehouse. And so they mentioned several things that were kind of reminiscent of the 80s and 90s with like the puffy stickers and stuff. So if you are at all nostalgic and loved those, I happen to have a antique store within 30 miles of my house that sells the scratch and sniff stickers, because I showed you guys those on a video. And hopefully they've got enough that it'll last and I can go there and get some more maybe before they're all gone. But you can order them on the website. I think they're $3.99 a package. But yeah, if you're at all interested in that, check out their website. I've came across them on Instagram, but Trend Enterprises Inc. is what you'd want to look for, I believe. So these are weird triangle, three-corner, it's almost like triominoes. Did any of you play triominoes? But it's not quite. But like, I don't know how this is supposed to work. Like with triominoes, you know, you had to match two sides before you could put it down. But I don't know what the purpose of this is. Is it a game like triominoes? That would take up a lot of space awfully quickly. But it says they're flashcards. But of course, the kind of flashcard is hidden by the price tag. Okay, well, it's acting like it's addition and subtraction. Yeah, addition and subtraction. So I don't know if there are, is it like a different instruction card? Okay, there is in the back. So it's got tips and stuff, but it doesn't matter. I didn't buy it to actually use it for its intended purpose. I bought it because I like flashcards, and I've seen several people use triangle-shaped things in journals where they will punch it like this, and then can write on both sides, and it's just a interesting thing. So that's why I picked up both of those. Now, I have been promising to do more crafting on this channel. I have been working in Gabby's room since she went to college to try and get her desk to a point where I can film from that. She's coming home this weekend, and so I'm unfortunately, you know how it is when you're organizing things and you end up making a bigger mess before you get it organized into a nice, manageable thing. So I, of course, spread out all over her room, not thinking that she was going to be home again quite so quickly. And so now I've got to pretty much just pick up all the piles and put them somewhere else. So I'm not making progress like I was hoping to. Sorry, I'm noticing all the glistening. I'm not making progress like I was hoping to with getting that station set up as quickly as I wanted to. Plus, I need her to, she's got a vision board that I need her to move so I can put my ring light up, etc. Here, let me get this muted so that that's not distracting. But so I don't know. I keep delaying when we're going to get to start crafting. And don't get your hopes up. I'm not like going to be the best crafter. But my hope is that I'll just be an average Joe putting together a journal, and I'll be listing it for sale after I put it together. But we'll just have fun putting them together and doing different things with the different things I find, and using other people's journals that I've bought as inspiration and that kind of stuff. So that's my little update there. All right, let's keep moving. So we got a couple more stamp sets. This one is Catherine Pooler. She is also a really good brand to use. Now, I'm pretty sure that she's got some creations that have been stolen by Temu. I'm sure all of these have, actually. Everybody's been stolen at this point by Temu, but she's a really good one. I like flowers. And what do these say? Be the best version of you. You matter. But I really just got it for the flowers. But she's a really good quality one too. And then another Simon Says stamp. This one looks like it is a bit of building, meaning, okay, so this is funny. Well, not funny, but whoever owned these cut the top so they could just slide these things in and out, but it does have the part where you open here at the bottom. I don't know why I pointed that out, because I'm anal, I guess. So this one looks like it's got ones that you would layer, is what I meant to say earlier. So you'd have this as your base, and then you'd layer with this, or, you know, vice versa. Sometimes it's the opposite, where you lay this one down first and then you put a light color on this to put over it. So I guess I would just play around to see, or maybe I would search this stamp set up and look to see how they recommend using it. But again, really good. And that price is really comparable with Temu prices for brand new ones. So, and they don't look, none of these look like they've been used. There's no ink staining, so I thought that was good. All right, then we have a weekly organizer, which had originally, I don't remember if everything was in here. I didn't actually look. But originally it came with sticky notes, 240 and 3 designs, memo pad of 70 sheets, a weekly notepad of 70 sheets, and 1 accordion envelope. And it's this pretty Paris. I thought this might make a good journal cover, because this little part comes off, and I thought this could make a cool journal or folio once everything's been taken out of it. It was $4.79, and let's see what it still had. It's got a magnetic closure. All right, so the pad has kind of come off here, but we've got days of the week. So this would be great in my biddy bundles. I could cut up each day and put those in there, or for my biggie bundles that I haven't listed any biggie bundles yet. but I will be at some point, and they're just bigger pieces of ephemera. So this would be something that could easily go in there. And then is this, okay, so this whole pad looks like this. Now it said there were two different, or originally were two different pads, I think. Yeah, a memo pad and a weekly notepad. Well, this is the weekly notepad. So the memo pad, maybe it's on the other side. Oh, it is, I guess. So we've got the 3 different sets of sticky notes up here. We've got the other memo pad here, and then we've got a really pretty envelope that would be neat to just leave in this. And so basically I'd be putting probably something in here that's, I don't know, would I have to think about like the right way to fill this up afterwards. But let's see if there's, this was the accordion file, and let's see if I can, for one, it's got a really thin string. Okay. And so it's just got just a small little accordion file that has cardboard in it to help keep its shape. So it looks like a few pieces have been used out of this, perhaps, but even the little memo pad is still pretty thick, and it's a neat little design. So yeah, so aside from the fact that you can tell there's a few pages torn off of here, and the fact that this fell off, still in pretty good shape overall. And I really, really like the back, or the cover and stuff. All right, since we just, well, this is kind of like a calendar too, but crochet. So I thought these would be neat. Now, my daughter Gabby crochets. I don't know if she would like this. This is a 2010 calendar. I don't know if all the pieces are here. It kind of looks like they're not, because there's some space in here. But let's see. Well, it's got January, so maybe it just has extra space, because it's got January as the first. Well, it's okay, there's multiple days on each sheet, but I thought that would be really neat, because if you put this in a bundle, you know, people could choose if they wanted to leave it whole, or if they wanted to cut this out, or use the dates at the top, you know, if they're trying to do a memory kind of journal. So it's just full of cards. Now it's not card stock quality. It is a thin, well, it's thicker than printer paper, but not much. Printer paper's what, 20-pound paper? This might be like 50-pound paper. I don't know. I know there's 110. I don't know what the weights are. 36-pound? That seems like one. So it's one of the smaller ones. And then this per se, because I could make something that would like cover this and make it better able to store things once all these cards are gone. But or I can just harvest pieces off of it and make, because this would make a good journal too if you cut off, you know, these parts and just had the front cover, the spine, and the back cover would make a good journal. Even though the front cover is designed to bend, I think that could still work. Hi, let me take a brief moment out of our video to let you know that today's video is sponsored by Junk for Goats. Junk for Goats is my business where I sell and resell vintage, antique, and some modern ephemera for all of your junk journaling or crafting needs. I have shops on Etsy, Whatnot,
and I list my digital items on my coffee shop. All of the links for those are below in the description, so please check that out. It's also important to note that 10% of all the proceeds from my sales are used to purchase goats from Compassion International. Those goats are provided to families across the world to help them meet their own families' needs in terms of their diet, but they can also take and sell the milk and the cheese that they produce from their goats to their friends and family nearby, helping to provide them with a income source that is valuable in the areas in which they live. So if you would like to craft with a difference, please check out the description below. And as always, thank you, and please enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks.
All right, so next, there really were a lot of stamps. So she also had some cross your heart ones. Now it's weird, there were cross your heart envelopes that were empty for the same price. So then I'm like, did somebody take one out and like put it in one of these others so they only had to buy one instead? Like, I couldn't figure out why there would have been empty packages for some of them and why they would have been priced the same. But I got four different sets. These do look like they were probably used. So, and I believe that close to my heart is also, I don't know if it's still around, but was very similar to Stampin' Up. And so they come with little booklet and a foam backing, which I guess is kind of nice. But these, you can tell, have been used. There's some color on this one. And, well, there's color on several of these. But they're a good brand, too. So this was a whole bunch of different thank you sentiments. And I really like that they come in a nice container that snaps, although I think I want to turn this around. Stampin' Up ones came in a container, but they really were kind of not very user-friendly in my opinion. So I ended up buying some from Amazon, some cases. All right, we've got Peanut over here trying to climb on things. Okay, we have another close to my heart. And this one, just some kind of, what do I want to say? Filigree is not what I want to say. Amoeba is not what I want to say. Paisley. That's how it starts, you guys. That's how it starts. Word association. You have to start relying on word association a lot more than you used to. All right, and then the next close to my heart, this was kind of a plain one and a smaller one. Buttons, Bits and Bobs, Flair. So I liked that it had buttons. I used to do a heart-shaped button was my signature when I made cards, because I made them under the love button was part of my thing, because my first name Amy means love and my maiden name means button in Dutch. So I would use heart-shaped buttons. So I like buttons. Who doesn't like buttons? And then there's a few other cool things. And I feel like I might have a circle punch that might be the same size as that, maybe. And then the last one of these is a holiday one. And again, I liked the roundness of it. But yeah, all of those were $2.86, so that added up pretty quickly. All right, then Altenew is also a really good brand. And most of these brands you can find on Simon Says Stamps website or scrapbook.com are some good ones. And yeah, so I used to get Altenews stuff when I used to get dies from them a lot. And also when I had one of those, I don't know what it's called, but you like melt, what would it have been called? Like it's almost like gilding. And say hi, Peanut. Should I make this my thumbnail? But I ended up returning that machine, but it came with like these plates that would, these gold colored plates that you would then, and you had special paper or film or something that you would put between the plate and the paper. I don't know, it's been a while, it's been a long time since I've done that, but I liked the Love per se, but yeah, these other ones are good too. So all right, and then how old must this be? Unopened photo, store your photos and negatives. So you get a box for the photos and a box for the negatives. And I thought it was a, you know, coffee, tea kind of set. So I thought it was cute. It's never been opened. And it is, it also holds 10 VHS tapes, because why not? But is there a year on here? I don't see a year. It was $4.79, and why not get a couple cute boxes? I mean, Michael sells these all the time, and you just wait till they go on sale and then you grab a bunch of them. But I thought it was cool that I had the smaller one too. And then I got one book, if you can believe it. I made myself only get one. Actually, they really didn't have that much to pick from. And this was $4, which is way overpriced for a Goodwill. But it was 1,000 Beautiful Garden Plants. And I'd never seen this one before. And it's got this cool part on the back. But the book is filled with these images. It says, with 1,000 line drawings by Robert Johnson. So, let's see if I can, yeah, so it's got, I just thought those would be kind of neat to cut out. I also thought, are they front and back? That's always a bummer when they're front and back, especially if they don't line up. Yeah, they are front and back, and no, they don't line up. So I'm gonna have to pick and choose on some of these. But it would also be fun to use some Copic markers or some colored pencils and, you know, color in. I don't know if watercolor would work on this kind of paper that well, but it would be kind of neat, an easy little coloring project. So, and I kind of thought these would make neat. So I got the art glossy, what is that stuff called? Glossy, there's just no words today. I used up all my words at work. Whatever the glossy stuff is that you can put over something and make it look like it's got resin on top, but it's not, it's just the glue. I thought I could put that on some of these too and make like charms. So that's another idea. But yeah, it's chock full of these images, which I thought were neat. And it has some other, you know, real life pictures too, which I don't care for those as much. And the paper is a pretty good texture. So even the pages that, or the parts of the paper that don't get used for these pictures would make good sources for punching things out, you know, and stuff. Maybe with my letter punch, and then, you know, you get your words, because it is kind of got a nice patina on it. All right, now the final thing that I got is, this was in the locked cabinet, and it's got a grab bag tag on it for $18.51, and it just said stamps. And so, should we make this my thumbnail? Because this is interesting. So I've got one thing in here that I put just so it wouldn't fall all over the place, but I need to show that on a different video. Okay, well, Peanut really likes the smell of this. So I was not sure if this was gonna be worth 18, 19 bucks, and I'm still not sure. I think I probably overpaid, but it came with a whole bag full of just normal stamps that people tore off of their, like these are the sticker stamp kind of things. I'm not really seeing anything old in here per se. Oh, well, that one's, it's a 20-cent stamp, but that was, you know, back when they were still lick 'em and stick 'em. So there's just a whole bag full of that. Now, the part that that I could see that was interesting was all of these. So let me see if I can hold them all up at once. Okay, so there's all of these. So heck, I will be able to use the envelopes too. What is this? This is a weekly offering for current expenses and all benevolent causes, including the pastor's salary for Marvin McMurray Methodist Church in maybe in Nashville, Tennessee. It doesn't say, but at the very bottom it says Methodist Pub House, Nashville, Tennessee. The phone number is only 4 digits, so it's pretty old. Oh, well, it's got a date stamped, September 13th, 1936. So that's a cool little envelope, but they used it for Costa Rica stamps. But it had this in here, 91 countries. Now, some of these countries, I couldn't tell what they were. Oh, this is Czechoslovakia, which doesn't still exist. And it had 2 stamps in it. So, okay, so some of these are, you know, not much. Has Costa Rica got much in it? I don't know how this person obtained these, if they got them during travel or from actual correspondence. I don't know, or from a like Mystic stamp company. So let's see. There's Austria. I want to find one that's got more. Australia, Brazil. Okay, the Bahamas feels like it's got a lot. Okay, you guys can't even see what I'm doing. Okay, so all of these from the Bahamas, and not necessarily old. I don't know how to tell how old these are. Some of them, this one has a postmark on it, but it's too bright of a stamp. So, you know, a nice little pile from there. Let's see if we've got Bahrain, Bosnia, Belgium. Oh, Belgium's not got very many. Belize, Bermuda. Some of these I'm sure have only 1 or 2. Bolivia, Manchuro? Where's Manchuro? Show my ignorance. Manchuro. Asia, somewhere in Asia, it looks like Chinese or Japanese or Manchurian. I don't know. I think when I was looking through them, oh, well, Scotland has several. Oh, and there, this is nice. So the Scotland one has some that are still attached. So yeah, so that's nice. But let me find China. I'm pretty sure China, we all love China. England has a few. Okay, well, let's do Korea. Korea looks pretty full. And then we'll stop after this one. Make a mess. Yep. So this one had a lot. And I guess I'm just going to drop them and clean this up later. Ooh. So that had a good amount in it. And it also had some that were still attached. So yeah, I thought that was a nifty find. I always check the locked cases just in case there's something special. I mean, that's where I found a big tub like this full of those, the reels. What are those called? I don't have any words today, you guys. I hate it. I hate it so much. That you put in the little... oh, it's terrible getting older. But you just have to laugh. So yeah, so I always check the locked cabinets in case I can find stuff like that. And I don't know, you tell me, was 1851 too much for that, given that a lot of those envelopes probably only had one or two, even though some of them had a lot. So I don't know if that was a good deal or not, but it's done now. So anyway, thank you for stopping by to watch my Goodwill haul. I'm not going to do the TV trivia today on this video. Well, I'm starting to run out of those cards and I want them to last a little bit longer. So maybe the next video will catch that. But yeah, so let me know what you think. Did I get some good deals, bad deals from the Goodwill? Do we all of us agree as a people that Goodwill is too expensive now for what they've got? I did see some vintage Pyrex there and they wanted like $24 for this one piece. I'm like, oh, this is like antique store prices. So I, of course, left that to stay there for somebody else. But all right, well, I think that's it for this video. So once again, thank you for sharing your time with me and chillaxing. Maybe you were crafting, doing this, or surfing the net while you were listening to this, whatever. I do that a lot when I'm watching YouTube videos. I'll multitask. But thank you. I know your time's valuable and I appreciate it. And thank you for liking and subscribing and all the fun stuff. And wherever you are, whenever you are, I hope you're having a great day. And until we meet again, take care of yourself.